Desired Life and Image Consulting. I'm your consultant, Rob, and your junior consultant, Bandit, is sitting here in my lap sleeping as always. We're still on Fresh and Fit 39-year-old froze eggs. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about on there, but it's been a few days. Let's just jump back in and let's try to keep powering through this thing so we can move on to something else. Something more fun.
We're stuck in this weird time where men and women are still traditionally attracted and biologically attracted to the same qualities that we've always been.
Yes.
But we're living in this weird era and place where we have this sort of faux equality.
Yeah.
Right? Where there's equality in certain ways, but people kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. People want to be like conservative and traditional when it suits them, and then be like hyper progressive and egalitarian when it suits them.
Yeah.
Right? Women want to be on their,
Well,
boss bitch stuff or whatever.
I mean, we make culture as we live it. That's all it is. There's not really any such thing as traditional. Like, traditional would just be like Amish, really. Like, they're traditional. They're still doing shit the exact same way. No generation has ever done anything the exact same way. Except for, like, arguably the Amish and some Muslim communities, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Things like that. Maybe some villages. But, I mean, we're just making it up as we go, guys. We're just giving ourselves permissions, right? Now, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I can't think of a good analogy right now, but you girls like to do that all the time. And what that means, for people who can't picture that in their head, you can't have your cake out here in the world and eat it as well. Okay? You can't have two things at the same time. It's impossible. You can't do that. Okay? So it's like, I want to be on OnlyFans. Here we go. I want to be on OnlyFans. I want to, put it all out there like that. And there's going to be some guys that, yeah, they're going to do that with you or whatever, but they're not thinking about the consequences later down the road, I promise. The consequence really comes down to, what are other people, if you get into a room full of higher status people, right, you're trying to work your way up that status chain. Doesn't matter what chain it could be. Corporate world, your own little friend group, whatever. If all your friends have seen y'all do that, like, isn't that at least kind of like, dude, what the fuck, right? Or even, what if it's just your wife? You masturbated to my wife? What? Or, let's take it to the extreme, you have a son, or a daughter, doesn't matter, you have a kid, and at some point, their friends are going to find that shit, I'm sure. Because kids know how to work phones from the time they're like 3 years old now. They know what all the symbols do. And they'll find it. And they'll be like, look, it's so-and-so's mom and dad. Or so-and-so's mom. Or so-and-so's dad. Right? The guy one doesn't get affected so much. The girl one, if it's your mom, holy God, you're going to upset your child so much. It's going to be ridiculous how much grief you feel. I promise. Because I've been that kid where it's like, oh, you've got a hot mom, and I just have pictures I used to just have pictures in my wallet of my siblings and my mom. My two sisters and my mom. After middle school, I said, screw that. That was too much for middle school. Imagine what high school is going to be like. They're just normal pictures. Little boys are relentlessly horny, I'm telling you. Like, some of them hide it really well, and then there's others that don't. And whenever they're around each other, man, it gets so hyped up in that, like, middle school and high school is just weird, okay? Everyone's trying to figure everything out, and some guys are going way too far. You know what I mean? That's why, ladies, if you're in your early 20s, I suggest you date someone 7 years older than you at least. That's just kind of a rule of thumb. Don't make it your exclusive thing, okay? Anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent. I digress. Back to what he was saying. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay? So, don't think that just because you're doing something now and you're going to stop when you have kids or something, doesn't mean it's not going to affect you later. You have no idea. Also, just the mental stuff. I mean, remember, it's all in your own mind anyway. You're going to project that out there and you're going to get back. People are going to treat you a certain way back.
and like,
but you gotta pay for that.
Yeah, but then you gotta pay for that, right? And then,
and you can't just say fuck the world because we need each other. You know what I mean? Unless you don't want to go up anywhere and you just want to live your life, because I'm telling you, the world's not going to conform to how you feel on the inside. You have to put out there how you feel on the inside. You want to feel respected, put out there that you should be respected. You know what I mean? If you want to put out there that you're kind, caring, compassionate, strong, you got to put that out there. Otherwise, you're going to get treated like you're not.
But I still want the man to pay for the date. I still want him to provide.
Yeah.
And then they'll still 2 seconds later bragging about how much money they earn or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's just this weird dynamic, and I think that a lot of men and women are just confused as to what they're supposed to be doing, right? Because the feminist narrative does sell to a whole generations of young women. You shouldn't really have to rely on a man. Like, you should provide for yourself. You can do this. You can do
but
this.
I think
whatever.
the ones that actually want to do all that, to not rely on a man and all this, what is it? Probably 10%. I'll give you 10% women probably agree with that 100%. But then the other 90%, you ask them deep down, yeah, I don't want to go to work. I want to stay at home and have a man take care of me. And that just may all look different to all of them, but I'm telling you, none of them want to go to work. Nobody wants to go to work, though, if they don't have to anyway. It's just good for men to do it. It doesn't hurt women to not work. They got to do something else with that energy. And usually it's to be creative and nurturing, Go watch the show on YouTube, The Island. You can watch it right now for free, if it's still up. The men and women. They have men on one island, women on another island. I say they kind of, at least after the first couple of weeks, it was pretty much even how they were surviving. They were just doing it differently. And then, the women's place was just so comfy. They just used garbage to decorate. You gotta watch it. It's amazing. Just the difference between men and women is so profound when you give them space to be their extreme difference. It was just pure freedom. They did whatever they had to do to survive. It wasn't about having fun. It's pretty profound.
And there's some truth to some of it, right? And then men at the same time are being told, sending very mixed signals, right? At the same time, you're being told that you're toxically masculine just from being a male, but then you're also being told that you should be a provider.
Yeah.
But then you're also being told that women don't actually need men, and this and this. It's all just very mixed, and I think that people,
yes, you,
at least
yes, you do. Remember, first of all, y'all do need men. Okay, yeah, if all the men disappeared tomorrow, y'all could figure some things out, but it's all gonna fall apart, right? Or because y'all don't want to do the sewage job, and neither do guys, but they can usually stomach it a lot better, and they don't mind doing it because they know they're doing it for women. Y'all don't want to do stuff for women. Y'all don't even want to really do stuff like that for us at all. Y'all want to do other stuff for us. You know what I mean? There's just other stuff y'all want to do for us. Why can't we each just do the things we like to do each for each other? No, I want to go be a CEO. Fine, go do that. But just so you know, I'm not impressed with that. In fact, it's kind of repulsive because I don't even want to be that guy. That job looks miserable. You really want to run a CEO company? You want to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, feel all that stress, and have to be somebody you're not. Because those people have to worry about the bottom line and profit margins. That's all they get to worry about. They cannot worry about anything else because they don't have that luxury. They're beholden to stockholders, and stockholders have to see growth. And if they don't, money gets pulled out of the company, and if the company goes bankrupt, well, he's out of a job too, isn't he?
Individual relationship, I think people need to decide, okay,
job.
are you truly going to do this whole egalitarian thing? Is that truly what you believe in what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Especially when children come into the picture? Or are you going to go for the more traditional conservative thing? Look, the man takes the primary lead in these things.
Yeah.
Women takes the primary
and we
lead
have the
in
studies
these
and
things,
the
works.
data
We're
for
in a more
the
liberal
egalitarian
time.
stuff.
We're in a more liberal
We are, but it's not
Like
freaking
that.
working.
Ancient
Yeah.
Rome
Yeah.
society I was
I
talking
mean,
about.
but I
We
think
are,
I
but
like
it's
that we're
not
here
really-
because now
yeah.
we can figure it out. Now everything out in
Sure.
the open. Like
Sure.
it's not hidden anymore. It's
Figure it
like
out.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
but
that's
look,
nice
the
now.
Do you think it
truth
was
is,
working before?
I think that look, no, there's always going to be issues.
I wasn't paying
Right?
attention.
There's always issues. I'm not going to
Second
pretend
episode.
that the 1950s all these marriages were perfect or whatever, or that in more traditional countries everything is perfect. But I'd also say that what we've got going on in many areas of the West is a whole disaster zone. I mean, every single country in the West has a below.
No one's saying, unless they're crazy, that like the 1950s picturesque thing was even all that common, or that it didn't have its problems. Yeah, there's problems all over the place with every single culture's expression of man and woman and relationships and all this stuff. We're not perfect, people. Okay, but the reason why a lot of that fails, and I would say the reason why all of it fails, including every system of government when it does fail, or money, economics, right, is because of some sort of fear-based decision. Right? You get the wrong person in charge who's afraid of this or that. Every single system can be tyrannical. Jordan Peterson talks about something like this. You just can't get the wrong people involved. Then yeah, it's going to become tyrannical because they're afraid of X, Y, Z. I had to say it the British way because apparently they came up with this language, right? It's more fun anyway, Z. Z is kind of boring. Not going to lie. Yeah, and it's just like every single time someone writes a law restricting, it's because they're afraid that something will or won't happen. And it's going to lead to disaster every time. Always leads to people getting hurt. Like for real.
Replacement birth rate.
Yeah.
We're not even people are not even
digress. I
reproducing
don't
to
remember what my
replace
point was now.
themselves. Like
Yeah.
that's actually long term a big problem.
Yeah.
People don't even know what freaking gender they are. Like there's all sorts of confusion that's going
there's
on.
Too much confusion.
And I
now.
think some of this is just because it's so new. Like we're only talking in the past couple decades where some of these ideas have even sort of been mainstream.
We have the data. Like the egalitarian stuff simply doesn't
No,
work.
Yeah,
it's
but if
not
you look-
confusing because of that. It's confusing because it goes against the grain of biology. Your brain can't wrap your head around it. Like you can wrap your head around it intellectually, but if you get your ego just can't do it. It's like, what? I'm not gonna do that. I don't want that. And you're sitting there trying to tell it, no, it's the right thing to do. What does that mean, the right thing to do? What's the right thing for who? Right? Gotta find that balance.
Even if you look at successful marriages and successful couples, they, with exceptions, they tend to be ones that are more based off of the traditional model.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right? People can try other stuff. I'm sure there's exceptions where it works fine.
If
There's
you mean
exceptions where,
traditional
the
as in like a man is masculine and a woman is feminine, then yeah, that seems to be the only one with at least straight couples it seems to work. And I would argue even with non-straight couples, you got to have that dynamic in there somewhere. Of somebody's the masculine and the other one's the feminine. Someone's got to be the one to take out the intruder with their bare hands. You know what I mean? Something. They got to be the one to take charge in most situations. And I'm not saying women can't take charge. It just depends on the situation, right? Like if I'm going to come into your space, right? Let's say, I'm not saying men can't read or anything like this, but what I'm saying is typically women are the ones that have book clubs, right? I wouldn't come in there and start being masculine and being like, we're going to do it this way. No, only if you asked me, right? I'm going to come in there and leave y'all's space and try to get along with your space, right? But as a man, I'll probably just get bored eventually and not go. Because that's not who I am necessarily all the time. In fact, most of the time we're just not like that most of the time. Y'all are, where you just want to sit around and talk about books and your feelings and stuff. I mean, sometimes that can be fun, but y'all just like to do that a lot more than we do. And like, in a relationship, it always seems like someone's got to have that, and the other one's got to be, I ain't got time for that, I got to go do stuff to make us survive better. And the other one's like, okay, I'm just going to stay here and decorate or whatever. And then when it comes to men and women who are straight, they want that dynamic. And the woman wants to be the one to stay at home, typically. I would argue nine times out of 10, at least. They want that traditionalness, if that's what you're calling it. And then same thing with the man. Because biologically, a man needs a boulder to shoulder to push into place to feel good about himself. That's just the way it is. Okay? I don't pretend to understand exactly why. Just seems to be the way the biology works for some reason. And women, y'all don't get the same kick out of it. Probably just a testosterone thing. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't have gotten very far. But y'all's thing is to push us to be better. Right? Be the fuel to our fire. Make us want to be better. So we go out and build something for you, we bring it back. That's what all civilization is just us building to make you happy. I think we've gone over this a bit before. Anyway, I'm sorry, I digress again.
And is happy to stay at home and look after the kids and be a house husband, and the woman is out there earning the money. Like, I know that
traditional's always gonna work because it's like structural.
It's time it's tested.
And
it's time tested, and it's also the thing is people forget that a lot of this stuff is not based on the patriarchy and men wanting to bully women and misogyny and this and this. It's actually based on biology.
Yes.
I get
Right.
it.
The part where it gets difficult is where you just try to get down to details within day-to-day life. But the overarching relationship shouldn't be that difficult. If it is, something's wrong. The karma is off, meaning action. Karma means action. It's a Sanskrit word that doesn't mean, like, what goes around comes around. That's not karma. Okay? Karma is, you're out of... Good karma means you're in good balance with who you truly are. Right? Good action for who you truly are. Bad karma is when you do bad action for who you truly are, therefore you're out of balance and the world is out of balance for you. It has nothing to do with you getting comeuppance. Okay? If something bad happens to you, it's simply because you're just out of balance. Right? That's the theory. So do good karma with your relationships. Do good karma in life. Do good karma for yourself. And you'll be in balance, you'll be fine. Just do good action. That's all.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like now women at the space where we know just as much as y'all. Like,
No, it doesn't.
I don't want to do
But
that.
here's the thing: the more money a woman makes, and the more she knows, the more
What
she
do you
wants a man
mean
that
we
knows
know
more than her
just
and
as
makes more
much as
money.
y'all? You can't even say men ever knew more than y'all. I mean, we all kind of just knew what we knew when we kept to ourselves, right? But women knew things and men knew things. Just idiots are the only ones who respect what only men do, but every husband knows, hey, my woman's smart. She just doesn't know the stuff I know. That's not to say she doesn't know as much. She just knows that stuff. I know this stuff. Right?
Her.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
doesn't change her hard wiring.
But I
Like
feel
if
like
a chick
it's
makes her
hard
hard
for
wiring.
men to...
Why do y'all always look at it like it's competition? It's an unmeasurable competition. It's ridiculous. And there's a scientific principle that you can't change. When you measure something, you automatically change the value. Think about that, okay? That's philosophical too.
Nah, here's the thing: if a chick makes $100 grand, she's gonna want a guy that makes 150.
Yep.
Like
Exactly.
women don't date. They typically rarely date their equals.
Yeah.
Preferably, they want to hire. So all that happens when a girl knows as much as a guy is she just wants a guy that knows more than her.
Yeah,
So
women
her
can-
standards go up.
Men cannot price themselves out of the dating market.
I wouldn't say knows
Right, as
more
a man-
necessarily, just more experienced. Right? More common sense. Whatever that is. But she's going to look at it differently per person. Each person's... So all you can do as a man is just keep grinding your axe. Just keep grinding your axe until you die. Whatever your axe is, if you got several axes, whatever. You keep grinding them until you die. Pretty much the goal.
The more money you make, the more
Make yourself
education
better.
you get, the higher status you become, all of that stuff, the more women you have access to.
True.
For women, it's actually the other way around. It's just like really tall women. It's harder for a 6'2" woman than like a 6'2" man has an advantage because women.
Is she tall?
No, she's 6'2".
Yeah.
So she understands.
Oh,
the
wow.
science very well.
I'm almost 6'2". I'm like almost 6 feet. I'm right under
I
that.
was gonna say.
Okay, I was going to say she don't look that
This analogy
tall.
is fantastic.
A woman who is
Yeah.
6'2" like she still wants a guy who's taller than her, or at least her height in most cases. So she's only like 5% of men or whatever.
3%.
3% of men.
3% are 6'2" or above.
Okay, 3% of men are over 6'2".
Yep.
So if she wants a guy who's her height or taller,
Wait,
then that's
so
what it is.
I'm
A
6
woman
foot
who's
tall. What
5'2",
percentage is that?
No, men don't care how tall their woman is.
That's a lot smaller than I thought it'd be.
Date a woman who's like whether he's 6'11" or 5'8" or 5'3", he'll be happy with a woman who's 5'2".
Biology rules all. So like I've always said it. Like as men make more money, doors open. When women make more money, doors close.
Yeah.
Like what men become emancipated from their success, women become prisoners of their success.
Yeah.
Like
And this is
dating
also
pool, like
Are you
shrinks.
guys speaking strictly like dating wise in that
And
sense?
by
when you say, like,
success, we mean within a masculine realm. Like if you're in a masculine realm and you're working your way up that, like business, you own your own business or whatever, right? We're not impressed. But if you're like feminine, fit, friendly, if you're like the best at that stuff, at expressing those things, right? That's impressive. It's not impressive when you express life the same way I express life as a man. And you're a woman, especially in a straight couple. It doesn't make any sense why that would impress me. Why are you competing with me? If that's what you want, then you're looking for the wrong person. And most guys would say, yeah, I don't want to compete with my woman. That's stupid. I want to not compete with my woman. I want to build with my woman. Why are we working? Why is she trying to build in the same direction as me? What is going on? You see what I mean? Just express femininity. Divine feminine. Masculine strength. We know what they look like. That's why these things exist in languages. Like, I'm pretty sure in German, for example, river is feminine. Mouse, feminine. Cat, feminine. Dog, masculine. Der Hund. Die Katze. Die Eule. Owl, wisdom. Woman. See, guys, come on. Die Maus. Small. Der Olifant. Pretty sure it's Olifant. Elephant. Stupid Lord of the Rings. Anyway, we're going to stop it there for now. Be sure to give it a like and subscribe. Go over to Fresh and Fit. Watch their stuff. Give them a like and subscribe as well. I have a page here on Instagram under the same name as this stuff. You're going to have to find it for yourself for now until I can... You'll know when. Anyway, thanks for watching.